Hi, everyone. Welcome to Live with BLAYNE J, your weekly connection to people, brands, and businesses. Thank you so much for joining. I am getting over a cold. I'm so nasally right now, so you have to excuse my voice if I sound a little off. But I am getting better, and I did not want to not do this interview today with Donald Kraft because I've been waiting for this. Donald is the founder of Coquito Me, which is an adult beverage company. If you don't know what Coquito is, he's about to tell you. I feel like it's such a New York thing, so we'll get into that. And he's also a comedian who performs throughout the tri-state area, which is New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, mostly in New York though. So we're just gonna go ahead and bring Donald on right now. Hi.
Hi guys, what's up? What's up?
Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
Donald and I know each other because he's a very good friend of my younger brother, Nick's. And so, and Donald is also a parent. He's a father of three. He's got two of those three kids are under 2 years old. So he is a very busy man on top of your Coquito business and your comedy. So let's get into Coquito. Now, I was asking Rodney behind the scenes, I'm like, do you know what Coquito is? And he's like, I don't know what that is. I feel like you have to either be from Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic or New York to know what it is. So tell us a little bit about what is Coquito?
So what coquito is it's pretty much, I like to call it the Spanish pina colada. But what it is you can make it two different types of ways. You can make it like either milky or you can make it kind of thick, almost like a slushy thick. So what I usually do is, my favorite is to make it as milky as possible, so that way you taste all flavors besides the alcohol, and I'm sure everyone loves alcohol. So I try to make it as strong as possible. And yeah, it originated from Puerto Rico, but came to the U.S. about, I want to say, give or take, don't quote me, 15 or maybe less years ago. And a lot of people don't sell it in restaurants or bars. You know, people make them at home. So it's a homemade drink that you can make from home.
I feel like it's also more of a holiday drink. When I've had it, it's mostly around the holidays, but you're selling Coquito all year round.
Yes. So I started as soon as the ending of August came. I had the idea, and I just said, you know what? Why not make it from like September all the way to maybe January, February? Because a lot of times it's almost like pumpkin spice latte. You can only have it from like September, October, and maybe a touch of November, and then they just discontinue it.
Right.
Me, I'm trying to continue, whether you want it in June, July, February, March, spring, summer, winter, fall. I'm all year round.
Now, why specifically Coquito? Because you do have an adult beverage company. You named it Coquito Me. So I feel like that kind of like, I don't want to say pigeonholes you, but it kind of like holds you to a high extent. Like your Coquito better be off the hook if that's what you're naming it after. And then you have these other beverages. So
Yes.
why did you specifically choose to just like focus on that one? Because you are going to have other beverages.
Well, with Coquito, I felt like that was kind of like a drink that I've mastered, and I can do it blindfolded just by, knowing the flavors, knowing what I'm opening, and knowing what I'm mixing. And just like what it is for me is that you have to have, everybody thinks, oh, you have to put the right amount of alcohol, the right amount of coconut milk, the right amount of this. Actually, it's the right amount of cinnamon. Cinnamon is also what makes the coquito kind of pop. If you put too much cinnamon, it'll override all the flavors, because cinnamon is such a hard and thick compound when you're putting it in, or whatever you season with.
Now, if anybody's just joining, we are talking about Coquito. And if you're hearing all the consistency that goes into it, it's basically like a pina colada. It's almost
Right,
like a version of a pina colada, which is crazy because people drink pina coladas all throughout the
right.
year. But it's something with Coquito that it's like specific to the holidays.
Mhm.
And you have a bottle somewhere, right?
I do. And here is my bestseller.
And it's good. I had some, I was like, I don't know how this is going to be because not everybody knows how to get it right. It was good.
I'm trying to explain to people, literally, like, for example, this bottle right here has been sitting in the fridge for going on a whole month, and the longer you let it sit, the stronger it is. So if you could see at the bottom here, it's all cinnamon, but
Mhm.
also if there's a little dark kind of shadow, which is also the liquor. And I believe this one is the rum version. So as if I shake it, you can see how thick it's still there, even if I'm shaking it. So the thicker and the longer you leave it inside the fridge, the stronger it becomes.
So how has it been so far with the business? I know you do deliveries. I know that people can order with you. Were you kind of surprised that it has gained popularity, or do you feel like there's so much more that you need to do?
Yeah, so for me, when I was planning this with my partner, my wife, I talked to her about it, and she thought it was an okay idea because I wasn't expecting it to be as popular as it was, but I didn't realize how unprepared I was
Hmm.
until I had to honestly figure out, like I said, making with the business, you got to learn how to spend money to make money. So, I had to pretty much put my name out there, and I tried to kind of do those deliveries as soon as possible. So that way people aren't waiting too long for that. But, being that I typically say, hey, listen, I'm doing deliveries on the weekend. And, as long as my wife is up to it, even if I have to do it myself, I'll travel to another borough. And I think it's worth it. And it's just been, I'm a little backed up now because of family, but
Right.
I'm getting there. We're getting there. We just got our gallons the other day. So I know a lot of people have been asking for the gallons. So I was like, all right, got to put in a little bit more work now and probably need
Right.
a blender. But overall, it's honestly been a blessing, and I'm humbled to have served a
Mhm.
lot of people so far within like the month I've been doing it.
And what are some of the other drinks you're hoping to introduce? I know this is going to be like your top tier signature drink. I don't know if you want to put any spoilers out there, if you just want to like surprise everyone on Instagram, but can you tell us a little bit maybe about some of the other drinks coming in the
So
company?
there's a lot of few drinks. So the way I try to market myself is kind of like based off of what I do. So I also do comedy. So for example, if you go to the Sugar Factory, I believe that's what it's called. They have a drink
Mhm.
called the Drake. The Drake is usually like whiskey, orange juice, and a whole bunch of mixtures. So they base their drinks off of celebrities. I was gonna base my drinks off of like, slogans or pretty much famous comedians that had passed away, rest in peace. So, for example, there's one drink that I actually want to put out there on the market that I've seen online, but a lot of people don't know what it is and they don't make it because it has at least around, I think it has every alcohol substance in there, meaning tequila, rum,
Mm-mm.
vodka, and some cognac. So I was actually
That's hurting my stomach right now, hearing you say all of that. I'm like,
it's,
oh my God.
it's actually the funniest thing was it's actually called holy water, believe it or not. It's called holy water. And you can look it up. I've seen some people make it, but I've tried to put I guess you could say, my substance to the test. And I've only been able to have one cup.
Oh my gosh.
And
You're gonna
usually
need
I can,
holy water after you drink that to try to revive the person after they
right,
pass out. That's why they
right.
call it that.
So I feel holy water once I put it out there on the market. I think I think Coquito might be kind of second in line after because
You need
I,
to put a disclaimer on that
I
one
am
to be
I am
like, listen,
I'm gonna put do not call me saying how bad your life
right?
messed up.
Buy this at your own risk. Don't
Yeah,
call me if it doesn't work out for you. Like
and
you buy it, no
I'm gonna
returns.
call the bigger the size, the longer the disclaimer because it's
Yeah.
very strong. It is very strong. I will say that.
I really like the idea of naming drinks after comedians, because a lot of times, like we go places. I know I've been places, and there'll be like a meal called the Barack Obama,
Yeah.
named after different people. So let's kind of pivot into your comedy. You've been a comedian for several years, so it is fitting that you have drinks named after comedians. Tell
Yes.
us a little bit how you got started with comedy, because not everyone is funny, But and I've unfortunately not been to one of your shows, but I have heard firsthand
Right.
that you're really good.
Well, I got into comedy. I want to say I made 11 years. About a month ago or 2 weeks
Wow.
ago. I made 11 years and I got into comedy because I wanted to do basketball. I got hurt in high school and it kind of put me in a deep depression. And I had to figure out something because I was drinking. I was I was waking up just like a hot mess, and just I wasn't who I really was. I was that funny guy in class, funny guy on the court, funny guy off the court, funny guy in the street with family, with whoever. I was who I was at 100%. And it honestly took one day where a friend of mine who I would love to bring on, this podcast one day, Jose, who told me, hey, you should start producing videos because you're funny on YouTube. And if you actually go to my YouTube, you can see the progression from when I was doing it, home videos, just telling jokes, finding the funny in jokes, then, learning how to find the delivery, learning how to find the punchline, learning how to find, I go from 8-minute clips to 5-minute clips to 3-minute clips to minute clips to one-liners. So it does, it's been a beautiful ride. I cannot lie. So I'm glad I found it, because Lord knows where I would have been.
Mm-hmm. And something that's interesting about what you're saying is when you hear a lot of comedians talk, they all kind of say that comedy is what saved them, because they came from like emotionally and mentally, like emotional mental states, that the jokes is like what took them out of that emotional and mental state. It's being this funny person and kind of like poking fun at themselves to an extent, but really throwing themselves into this. So it's interesting that you're saying that was your trajectory as well. I've heard that about so many different comedians.
Yeah, it's really been a lifesaver. I'm talking like after basketball, I went to like 489 pounds, and
Wow.
and it was all due from like drinking and just like not eating right, and just not sleeping. Like your body's not used to you drinking as less as you were making that progression, hitting the gym. So yeah, it saved me.
So with the comedy, I mean, it's one thing to be on YouTube and tell your friends to watch and whatever, but then you actually do live shows in comedy clubs. How did that come about?
So live shows, once again, it became like a spontaneous thing. I was like, I'm not really getting views on YouTube. It's like maybe I'm not learning how to market myself. So then, it went to the extra step of me trying to find clubs. So when I found my first club, which was, I believe, Stand Up NY, which was on 19th Street and 2nd Avenue. I found that club in my first show. I brought like 20 people. And the first celebrity I met coming there, and we had a nice conversation, was Tracy Morgan. So we had a conversation, and I asked for a picture. He was like, "Nah, we're not gonna take a picture like you're a celebrity. If you're a comedian, they're gonna take a picture of us talking." And it kind of shaped my mental from here on out. So there's like a few celebrities I've talked to, and I got their number, and I don't ask for a picture, because it's just at that concept after meeting Tracy Morgan.
It's funny. I once saw Tracy Morgan like a year and a half ago, right before COVID, driving down 42nd Street, which is in Manhattan. For those of you that don't know, it's a big long street, in a silver Lamborghini, pumping music, and everyone was looking, because everyone is like, who the heck is this in this silver Lamborghini with this music blasting? It was Tracy Morgan. So
yeah, he's a cool guy. I've actually helped. I was his shopping, I guess, assistant whenever he came to Macy's, and he had that accident in Walmart. He would always come in. We would talk, and that was kind of like that. It kind of got to that good relationship. Never got his number, but I met some celebrities in my past, but I'll let
you took something from him, and it helped you throughout your career. Like just a couple words that he said, it sounds like really stuck with you.
Yeah.
So where do you draw your inspiration for your comedy? Like I said, a lot of comedians tend to make fun of themselves, or if they've had a rough past, they may, make jokes about it. So what is your material mostly about?
So my material is mostly about life experiences that I've been through, like every other comedian, but mostly like what's going on. I'm more like the Dave Chappelle, but I'm kind of the nicer way to say it, in other words, which, for example, I brought up the idea of the fact that finding jobs, a lot of people, I try to bring the truth out, but also that little joke with it. Right now, there's over 20 million jobs that are looking for people, and they can't seem to hire nobody. But I'm sure there's people applying, and this is why a lot of people don't want to work, is because they try to apply for the job, but the jobs don't give them a chance to actually see what they're about. So it's I try to be that Dave Chappelle, that Chris Rock. I try to take a piece of everybody and kind of incorporate with my comedy. Yep.
I won't bring up Dave Chappelle because I haven't gotten to see the show. I was wondering, I was like, should I ask him what he thinks about it? But I'm like, I haven't even watched it yet, so I can't even ask your opinion. I haven't had time.
The show was very good. It's kind of a sensitive topic, so it's just one of those things where Dave Chappelle really spoke out about the truth about things, which I agree with. And the fact of the matter is, like, it amazes me how, like, the way this world is. But like I said, I don't want to really dive off, get too off topic. But like I said, if anything, I do stand with Dave Chappelle. If he's watching, I stand with him all the way.
We'll have to tag him in it. I can't stand with anyone because I didn't see it, so I don't really know. I've seen the news, I've seen stuff, but I'm like, I just don't have an opinion because I have to see it for myself.
Right.
But I think that's awesome. And I love the way that you are now going to fuse your comedy career into this adult beverage business with some of the names. And a name that came to mind, and I don't know if you liked him or not, but I'm thinking Charlie Murphy. I'm like, you have to have a drink called the Charlie Murphy because I feel like that's just so iconic at this point. Everyone, for the most part, knows who he is. So is that something that's kind of crossed your mind, or is he not on the list of people that's going to make it to the drinks?
Well, I mean, for me, I would have to, like I said, with Charlie Murphy, I've seen him in some kind of skits. So it's like personality to me is, I mean, I'm definitely obviously different from Eddie, but being that they're related, it was more like I would have to kind of see where his personality is, and then like if I decide to make a drink, I could say, you know what, this feels like a Charlie Murphy right here.
Throw some females up in there too, please.
Oh, of course. I got some female comedians that I look at, and I'm not a a hater or anything, but I look at some of the women comedians, and I'm like, I honestly think if they did I believe they did a Queens of Comedy. I have to double check.
They did a long time ago.
I didn't get to see that yet.
That's more about my time, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I haven't seen it in a really long time. I remember specifically
Kings of Comedy.
I remember going to the movie theater with my friend Kendra and going to see Kings of Comedy. We were super excited for it.
I gotta watch it.
You haven't watched it?
No, not yet. I don't know. Like I said, the Queens of Comedy. It's just for me. It gotta be a female comedian that's having me, like, she has to capture my attention with the jokes. Like, I gotta be able to relate to her.
Like, but no. Kings of Comedy is what did you see Kings of Comedy?
Yes, Kings, yes.
Okay, that's what I'm, Queens,
I
don't think I've seen Queens of Comedy, but Kings of Comedy, that's what I was talking about, that I specifically went to the movie theater to go see. That is hilarious. Okay, so you've seen that one. There's also a super funny one with Chris Rock, and now I can't remember what the name of it is. It was really funny.
Def Comedy Jam was my time too, just Mark Lawrence. Who was it? Chris Rock did it. Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac. So there's a few guys that made it to the top.
I think that's awesome. Now, please let everybody know where they can find you for Coquito Me, and if this is the same place that they should find you for your comedy materials, or if that's something separate on YouTube.
So everything, I try to have everything linked. So my Coquito Me page is just strictly like reviews. If you want to order, please hit me up at COQUITO ME, and you'll be able to find me. I don't have a lot of followers yet, but the page is open. You can strictly message me. My Instagram, I actually also have my TikTok connected, which my TikTok, surprisingly, I didn't advertise my Coquito Me page on that, and I have like 33,000 followers.
Oh wow.
So my other Instagram for my comedy is I am DK, DIQUE funny. So I'm DK funny. is my comedy page, which also has my which is also open, and you're actually able to go to my TikTok from the comedy page, and you can see all the comedy videos I've done.
Send it all to me. I'm gonna put it on my IG page as well so that people can find you. I'm gonna be ordering some more Coquito. You're not delivering outside of New York right now though, right?
So right now I'm in Jersey, but right now we were looking to try to figure out how to, maneuver our way to, Long Island or just in general. It would just be all in a matter of who can, help us watch the kids, because we don't want to deliver Coquito and we got to stop every 10 minutes because the baby's crying. So yeah.
I also don't want my Coquito with a bunch of kids in the back, because I'd be like, this is what y'all do when you got the alcohol and the kids all in the car, and I would try not to. I would take it regardless, right? I would be like, well, give it to me anyway. So I totally understand that aspect. So if you are in New York or New Jersey, Donald is able to deliver Coquito. If you're just tuning in and you don't know what Coquito is, it is basically like a Puerto Rican pina colada kind of drink. It's really good. It has cinnamon and rum, and it depends if you like that kind of texture, which I like. It has whatever other else is in it. But it's a really, really good drink. So definitely support Donald, support his business. I'm going to put all of your information on my IG page as well. And before we wrap it up, because I know Donald's having an issue with his back, so I don't want you to be on here for too long. So before we wrap it up, Donald, is there anybody that you want to give your thank yous and shout outs to while we are on here? They may or may not see it, but hey, at least you did it.
Hey, listen, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to my wife for holding kids down when I work, and we're doing deliveries together. Women are strong, and a lot of men don't see that, but women, the mothers, they hold it down. I want to say shout out to you guys, Nick and his family that have been with me for some time, even though some of y'all just met me. Still got to meet your moms, though. I met the dad. I got to meet the mom.
Okay, you got it. Okay, we'll set that up. We'll set that up.
Yes. So I'm shout out to you guys for getting my back. Shout out to Nick, of course, for setting this up. That's my it's my lawyer, it's my advisor, it's my advocate. So Nick is my main squeeze. Also shout out to our good friend Raul, who big dad. I respect dads. He's holding it down. He's been making sure that his son does what he has to do. So I give big ups to Raul and my family as well. So thank you guys for having me. And I'll try to rest that back.
Yes. I know I don't want to keep you too long. Well, just real quick, big shout out to you, Donald. Thank you so much for being here. My family and I, we support you. If anybody's just tuning in, Donald's a very, very good friend of my younger brother, Nick's. So big shout out to Nick. If you know me, then you know Nick, and Nick is my absolute heart. So, please support Donald and his business. Big shout out to, I've never met Raul, but big shout out to Raul because I know he cooks really well. I have had some of his food. And so big shout out to Raul. If you watch this, your food is on point. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Shout out to Kelly of Kelly Diane Design. She is a former guest on the show. She has a handbag line. Thank you, Kelly, for tuning in. Check out her page as well. And as always, thank you to Rodney and everybody at Realish Radio for keeping the shows going and all of the behind the scenes work that you do. Donald, I'm just going to have you hold on for 1 second while Rodney cuts us out, and I will see everyone else sometime next week. Thank you.
I am excited to talk to my ladies primarily. And guys, if you want to be here with me, hang out. I want to welcome you into my space, my world, my thoughts, and I want to share them with you. And I hope that it inspires someone. It brings about some transformation.
Said a struggle to get in line. Hustle from the bottom, the customer don't lie. 365 isn't dead and the phone shine. Hustle till I die, so whenever I shine.